the presenters of his first Asian Virtual Multidisciplinary Research Conference 2020. Well, my name is Rafael Kevin Nagal. I'm from the Department of Education, Division of Aklan, from the District of Libacao. Well, I will not tell you more about my place, where I come from, but you can actually take a look at this video. Right, so if you haven't heard of a clan, well, take note of the word Boracay, and well, you will be able to relate the place to the island to our province. Boracay is just part of a clan, and there's more to it than Boracay. So, my place is located in Libacao, and I teach in Libacao National Forestry Vocational High School. It's a technical vocational school catering most of the tracks in the TVL as well as the general academic track. So this is the background information of my school and the place itself. My study is titled Glocalized Experiential Learning Infused Resource Package in Earth and Life Science. So the title itself is quite new. I don't know if you've heard of the word glocalized. Well, when we say glocalized, it's like a new word, a combination of words. Well, experiential learning itself is the theory that I infused on the module. On the modules that I have created. I have created 3 modules, which are composed of a teacher's guide, a learner's module, and a video-based module in Earth and Life Science. Now, this is the usual classroom that we have, but it is clear that the COVID-19 pandemic has utterly disrupted an education system that many assert was already losing its relevance. Social distancing and mass gathering protocols has affected the traditional teaching methods, and this, ladies and gentlemen, became the new normal. Amid social distancing issues, distance education offers a great opportunity to continue providing the basic right to education. So right now, the 21st century learners, which are also known as the millennials, are very much accustomed to this form of education because I believe of their inclination on the use of gadgets and the internet. Based on its advantages and disadvantages, it seems that distance learning is a catalyst to create new, more effective method of educating students, especially during this pandemic. Well, modular learning, may it be in print, those that can be read, or those that are in non-print, like the digital materials, they offer the best strategy to overcome delivery of instruction during this COVID-19 pandemic. And thus, this study was created, Glocalized Experiential Learning Infused Research Package in Earth and Life Science. Take note that, well, the PISA 2018 results was a very scandalous issue, which hit the Department of Education last year. The Philippines ranked in the, look at the bottom, at the low 70s in the 2018 PISA. And actually, if you take a look at that, among the 79 countries, it's actually in 70s in reading, mathematics, as well as in science. Well, one reason could have been the nature of the subject itself. But if you take a look at our learning portal in the DepEd, there is scant LR. As you can see, there is no, take note, zero Earth and Life Science module in our DepEd learning portal. So nobody can access that, or nobody will access that because there's nothing in it. Well, the K-12 is an activity-based education. So it's anchored to experiential learning theory. Most of the activity-based instructions in my module are validated to accommodate differentiated learning strategies. So, well, knowledge can be given to people, literally by usual lecture. But if you infuse experiential learning to it, the simple knowledge could become something which moves and which has a color. And, well, of course, that is the goal of my study. Now, globalization, as mentioned, could be a new term for us. But in experiential learning, it's actually quite an old one. So we have knowledge here, they are scattered information. But if we put experience when we teach, then of course, it will correlate all those scattered knowledge into one and connect them all. And thus, the use of modules will actually do it. So globalization, as mentioned, is a coined word between the word globalization and localization. So when we say globalization, the modules that I created can be used all over the world. Everybody can use it because of the use of the universal language, which is English. On the other hand, localization or simply contextualization is using indigenous materials in the local language in teaching the subject. So thus, this is my study. It attempts to answer the following questions. First, what are the least mastered competencies of students in Earth and Life Science? Second, what resource package can be developed to address the needs of students? Third, how acceptable is the developed learning resource package, such as the LM and the teacher's guide, in terms of physical aspects, learning outcomes, Earth and Life Science content and processes, experiential learning activities, evaluation procedures, and relevance of the learning material in enhancing the experiential learning level of students? The fourth question is, how acceptable is the developed non-print resource package as evaluated by students and learning experts alike in terms of content quality, instructional quality, and technical quality? The framework of the study is as follows. It follows the research, the educational design research, specifically the ADDIE model. So the ADDIE model is like the assessment, design, development, implementation, and evaluation procedure in curriculum development. So the first part of the framework is, first, of course, the assessment of the least mastered skills of students in the field of Earth and Life Sciences, specifically in the concepts of bioenergetics. After identifying those, the design, the development of the Glocalized Experiential Learning Infused research package had commenced. And finally, based on evaluation and implementation procedures of the ADDIE model, a final or a revised resource package in Earth and Life Science was created. So here are the methodology and the design of my study. So the design is educational design research. I conducted it at my school. The respondents are both the students and the experts. Instruments used are as follows: researcher-made tests, FGD protocols, LMEFs is the learning material evaluation forms, and using the KR20 for the reliability, and statistical treatment are all descriptives, mean and SD. Now, here's the flow of my study during the analysis phase. That's the time that mainly I created the assessment for the student to determine their least mastered competencies, followed by the design phase, which includes the plans and how to create the modules. The third phase, which is the development phase, it is composed of assembly of all the contents of the storyboard, the script, and the videos. Finally, the implementation phase, this is the time that pilot testing of the learning material was done. And finally, evaluation using the LMEF and FGD. For the results of the study, for the first problem, the least mastered competencies of students in bioenergetics, the results are as follows. Out of the 5 competencies, there were 3 that were yielded as least mastered. We have competencies about the cell, second, photosynthetic reactions, and finally, cellular respiration or acquisition and utilization of energy. So take a look at these scores. So we have the cell, photosynthetic reactions, and acquisition and utilization of energy were rated as the lowest, being least mastered. This is actually based on the standardized guidelines on assessment by the DepEd. Now, during focus discussions, it has been found out that the reasons why these were least masters are as follows. Most teachers skip these lessons because, of course, the second reason is teachers lack content mastery of the subject. The third one, unavailability of the instructional materials. Of course, insufficient experiential learning. That's the focus of this study. And finally, the nature of the subject itself is very difficult. The second question, what are the contents of the package that were created? So 3 learning materials were created. First, for the print materials, 2 learning materials were created. One is teacher's guide, and the second is the learner's material. Now, for the non-print material, video-based modules were created. So here are some of the basic features of the 3 modules that were created. The first column are the features. The second column are those that are found in the learner's material. The third column, you can find the things that are found in the teacher's guide. And finally, in the video-based module, these are the things that you can find. Alright. So for the third question, what is the acceptability level of the print resource package? Both the print materials, the teacher's guide and the learner's material, are rated very acceptable, both by the students and the experts. The fourth question, acceptability of the non-print resource package. And of course, the video-based module that was created was also rated very acceptable in terms of these quality. Conclusions for the study were the following. Most of the students in grade 11 of Libaco National Forestry Vocational High School have difficulties in 3 out of the 5 competencies in bioenergetics. The difficulties were mainly due to both teacher and learner factors. So when creating materials, or when learning materials are glocalized, contextualized, and infused with experiential learning activities, learners are more likely to be engaged in learning the concepts. The overall rating were rated very high. So with the resource package's handiness, engaging designs, ease of comprehension, learning activities that are simple and easy to follow, and the fact that the package is both standalone and complementary, would likely improve the participants' experiential learning and thus enhance their mastery of the competencies under bioenergetics. My recommendations are as follows. Teachers who could not master the topic should attend trainings for the concepts. Teachers should develop their own learning materials. Textbook developers in science must ensure that the learning materials they create are easy to understand and contain varied activities for the benefits of the learners. These are my references. These are the cover of the two print materials, the learner's material and the teacher's guide. And if you could actually take a look at a sample video-based module that I created. We can actually take a look at that. I really don't know if you can see it. So this one is an example of... Good day, my name is Rafael Kevin Ainagal, and I'm the developer of the video-based module Bioenergetics. The first chapter, the cell. These were the room, and finally, white na doona ay eukaryotic cell. May anang mga organs nga kung tawgon ay organelles, parehas kun nucleus. May aton nga ginatawag nga lysosomes. Dayaro mga basurero.
Psalms 23 cup.
This is an example of, this is actually the teacher's guide that I created. I couldn't find my learner's material, but they have actually almost the same content when it comes to that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the entirety of my presentation for my research, Glocalized Experiential Infused Learning Package in Resource Package in Earth and Life Science. Salamat nga po, Kinyo Tanan, from the Department of Education, District of Libacao.